KCAU 9 Sports.
What is poppin', Siouxland? I'm Ozzy Huddleston. Welcome back to sports. The Cup chase begins for the Sioux City Musketeers as the #3 seed in the Western Conference, hosting Tri-City in a best-of-3 series in the opening round of the playoffs. Musketeers are 2-4 against the Storm this season. Sioux City has scored the second most goals in the West coming into the playoffs, and that is just how they start this one. Muskies on the attack, and Daniel Button puts the shot in on the drive-by. The Muskies take a 1-0 lead only a minute into the game. Later in the first period, the puck finds Gavin Gary in front of the net. He pops it in the oven, and the Muskies are cooking with a 2-0 lead. Storm would cut into the deficit in the second, but the Musketeers weren't done scoring. Luke Gary takes the loose puck and buries it for the 3-1 lead. However, the Storm would answer back with 2 more goals and force OT, where Ashton Schultz would put it to bed. Muskies win it 4-3. Now, one of the biggest track and field events in the Sioux City Metro is back, the 61st running of the Sioux City Relays, as high school and collegiate athletes from all 3 Siouxland states touch down at Elwood Olson Stadium with a chance to take home gold. Fantastic Friday for track and field fun. Let's get right into the action. We'll kick it off with the women's 100 hurdle in Heat 1. Wayne State's Braylee Botts crossed the line in a time of 14:22 for the win. Move to Heat 3, Briarcliff's Devondra Sands takes it in a time of 14:86. She advances to the finals tomorrow. Over to the men's 110 hurdles. Northwestern's Calagra Mukhtar is able to qualify for the final at that time. Let's transition to women's shot put. Dort's Fran Travis with a great throw here. Season best 43-foot to finish in 4th. Back to the track for the women's 100-meter. Former South Dakota standout and All-American Sarah Reifenrath takes the race in 11:76. Big win for the Hardington native, one of many local products excited to shine in Sioux City.
Great, because, like being from here, there's not a ton of opportunities around, so having events like this, that brings a lot of fast athletes together to compete against is, it's a huge help to people like me.
It feels really good, to be honest. It's not my first time, but definitely here for the competition. It's really exciting. An experience, college experience.
Full list of day 1 results are on our website. The Sioux City Relays continue tomorrow at Elwood Olson Stadium. The second round of the Masters tournament saw plenty as a handful of golfers made major moves up the leaderboard, while Rory McIlroy stood out among the rest, taking a 6-stroke lead into Saturday as he looks for back-to-back green jackets. Reporter Andrew Martin has more from Augusta National.
He co-led after 18 holes. He is the solo leader after 36 holes. Rory McIlroy proving for the 2nd year in a row that he is the best golfer at the Masters. It took until the second 9 on Friday, but he created that separation heading into the weekend. Patrick Reed is behind McIlroy, as is Sam Burns. They are not right behind, but within striking distance. They're both at 6 under par. For Burns, he's trying to keep pace after being the co-leader after round 1. For Reed, he's trying to win his 2nd green jacket to join the one he got in 2018.
It's fun, right? I mean, this is what we work so hard for, and it's what we try to prepare for. And so it's at the end of the day, it's fun. Whatever happens is going to happen. So just go out there and enjoy it and play my best.
The golf game felt okay. Felt like I gave myself some really good opportunities. Didn't make quite as many putts as I felt like I wanted to, but at the same time, giving yourself chances and then also making some of the crucial putts to keep the momentum and getting balls up and down throughout the round, I felt like was huge.
Shane Lowry described the course conditions on Friday as crusty, and the course is expected to get even harder for golfers over the weekend with higher temperatures and, again, no rain on the way. It is a jam-packed leaderboard heading into the weekend. Justin Rose is up there, and I'd watch out for Brooks Koepka as well. 5 major championships, he shot a 3 under par 69 on Friday to get within striking distance. At the Masters in Augusta, Georgia, I'm Andrew Martin.
All right, and hockey returns tomorrow night, right? Game 2, is that right?
Absolutely. Game 2, I believe it's at 6 p.m., not 6 a.m. That's too early.
That's hockey. At IBP, too, by the way, not at the Tyson. We're back after a quick break here.
Sports.
What is poppin', Siouxland? Welcome back to sports. The Masters wrapped up this week with some of the most elite golfers in the world all battling for the green jacket. But for the first time since 2002, one came out on top for the 2nd consecutive year in a row. Andrew Martin has more.
Well, the outcome is what we thought it might have been after the first round on Thursday. How we got there, that's a whole nother story. Rory McIlroy is your 2026 Masters champion, back-to-back green jackets for the guy who squandered a 6-shot lead after 36 holes.
A lot can happen in a golf tournament over 36 holes or even 18 holes. So, I certainly didn't think I was home and dry after Friday night. I knew I still needed work to do.
Rory McIlroy began the day on Sunday in a tie for the lead, tied with Cameron Young. As the day progressed, McIlroy found himself trailing. Justin Rose, in fact, had a 2-shot lead at one point. McIlroy hurt himself with a double bogey on the 4th and a bogey on the 6th. But he steadied things with back-to-back birdies on 7 and 8, and he did just enough over the second 9 to hold off a surging Scotty Scheffler, along with several others.
I knew going into today, I was going to have to do something special if I wanted to catch him or Cam. And, I was close, but, just a few shots here or there.
Scotty Scheffler finished 1 shot back. He was runner-up after a final round 68. He actually became the first golfer since 1942 to go bogey-free on the weekend at the Masters. A group of 4 golfers finished tied for 3rd at 10 under par, but this was Rory McIlroy's day.
I just looked to the back of the green and I give it one of these because I saw my mum and dad and Erica and Poppy, and I was just like, can't believe I've just done it again.
McIlroy said it himself. He waited 17 years to get a green jacket. Now he has 2 in a row. At the Masters in Augusta, Georgia, I'm Andrew Martin.
It was a busy day today on the diamond for some Siouxland squads. Starting down Vermilion as we got the Yotes softball team hosting border rival North Dakota State for Game 3 of a weekend series. The Bison took Saturday's game 21-2. Yotes looking to strike back. Bottom of the first, Sarah Iberg finds the gap in right center for a triple. Ella McGee and Brooke Carey score the first 2 runs of the game, although Iberg would get caught in an inning-ending rundown. Head to the 3rd, Madison Evans drills a sharp grounder to short. McGee sprints home from 3rd and beats the tag as the Yotes go up 3-1. And later in the frame, 2 on, and Delaney White steps into the box, rips it down the 3rd baseline for a double, scoring Charlie Nelson. South Dakota now leads 5-1 after 3, but that's it. NDSU comes back to complete the sweep, 10-5 over USD. Now over to Briar Cliff as the Charger baseball team hosted the top team in the GPAC in Morningside for a Sunday doubleheader. Chargers took game 1 7-0. They got to a hot start in game 2. First inning, Nico Sale smacks this one center right, and it goes the distance. 2-run home run for Briar Cliff, and the Chargers find themselves in the driver's seat with a 2-0 lead. But Morningside would take the wheel right back. Top of the second, Jacob Odell fires a solo home run over the left wall to make it a 1-0 ball game. 2-1 ball game, but the Stings weren't done. A few at-bats later, bases are loaded up. Second base, Romani Perez takes over the ball game with a grand slam to make it 6-2 Morningside. Mustangs get their lick back from the game earlier with a 7-5 win to close the day. Now, back on the court, Iowa State men's basketball star Milan Momcilovic has declared for the NBA draft and entered himself in the transfer portal as well, according to his social media, after a stellar season helping the Cyclones to the Sweet 16, where their season ended at the hands of Tennessee. Momcilovic was the best shooter in college basketball, averaging 16.9 points a game, shooting almost 50% from three-point range. In his time in Ames, the Cyclones have won 83 games and made 2 appearances in the Sweet 16. This marks the 3rd key player exiting after Tammin Lipsey and Joshua Jefferson in their time due to running out of eligibility. Now, over the weekend, the Musketeers advanced themselves to the second round of the Clark Cup playoffs after a 2-game sweep over the Tri-City Storm, beginning Friday with the win in a 4-3 overtime thriller, then a dominating 6-2 victory on Saturday. Now the Muskies will head on the road for round 2. The Muskies head to Fargo, North Dakota for the first 2 games of the best-of-5 series with the Force. Game 1 kicks off Saturday, April 18th at 6:05 p.m. The Muskies will return home for the Game 3 the following Friday, the 24th, this time back in the Tyson. All right, last but not least, let's end our weekend slate with a look at our Sports Zone top 5 plays of the week. Just another week for some top 5 plays. Starting with number 5 in Leeds, where North's Kuma Gudamus breaks past the defense and just sneaks the ball past the goalie for the game's first score in the final 15 minutes. Fans and student section feeling that one. Let's head to number 4 on the diamond at Dakota Valley. 2 down, Matty Munch hits one to the moon. 2-run homer for the junior. The Artemis crew could have seen that from orbit, honestly. That sets us up for number 3, the Muskies' first game of the 2026 playoff run. Luke Gary's going to find a loose puck and he'll bury it for a 3-1 lead. Big score there for the green and gold as they took that one in overtime. Number 2, we head back to the soccer pitch. The Stars return this time with a dagger from Jose Mata Rivera, the touch and the howitzer. He gets the crowd on their feet as they win 2-0 in that one. Now for our top play of the week, it's South Sioux's Charlie Perez making some magic happen, gets the touch, flicks it over the keeper under tight defense. Man, what a week it was, and that does it for our top 5 plays and for sports. We'll see you guys right after the break.
KCAU 9 Sports.
What is poppin', Siouxland? Happy Monday. I'm Alistair Huddleston, and welcome back to sports. After a storm delay out in Kingsley, several Siouxland track squads took over the stadium for the Kingsley Pearson Woodbury Central Invitational. Storm rolled by and the sun came out. Let's start on the track for the boys' 3,200-meter race. Final lap, Hinton's Caleb Bauer kicks into second gear to try to run down Akron Westfield's Archer Small, but it wasn't enough. Small finishes in first with a time of 11 minutes and 16.73 seconds. Now onto the field, we hit the long jump pit. Kingsley Pearson's Lexi Gilbert shows out on home turf, taking first place with a 16.3 jump, scoring 10 points for the Panthers. Back to the track for an event I have never seen before. It's the 4x1 hurdle shuttle. Galen Catholic Girls Squad takes the win on 1 minute and 11.9 seconds. Last stop, the girls' 4x800 race. KP dominating this one. Briley Utesh crosses the line at 10 minutes and 38.75 seconds, nearly half a minute faster than the second place finisher. But at the end of the day, Hinton would take the win with 137 team points. Big news for Nebraska high school football. After announcing previously the addition of a new classification, the association made a few other changes today. With the expansion, it was voted that in the future, the D3 state title game will now be held at the University of Nebraska Kearney instead of Lincoln. Kearney is already the host venue for the 6-man football championship and could possibly be host to even more after the board voted on an amendment that would allow the 8-man football championship games to also be played at Cope Stadium. That does it for sports. We'll be right back after the break.